Oh, I think, anytime you can go up against a different team, um, there's a monotony that begins during training camp, everyday grind. So it's like a shot of energy when another team comes in here. You see, different faces, different schemes, different body types. So I think we get a lot out of it. I've always enjoyed them, different skill sets. So I think it's always good. I thought we had great work with them, across the board, offensively, defensively. I thought it was a really good 2 days.
Think about Baker Mayfield at all, given that Tampa's declared he's going to be the starter for week 1?
Yeah, obviously, looking forward, looking down the road, that's obviously a huge game, our opener, at home in front of our awesome fan base. So yeah, that's there's some things we're working on from that standpoint. But I would say most of the focus is on the guys here, their techniques, their fundamentals, just trying to improve today. But yeah, there's been a little bit of conversation, really, and that's been the whole way. Really, once we got the schedule, just kind of doing a little bit of work here and there. Taking a look at some of the preseason games, but everybody's doing that. So we're no different than, any other team, kind of getting ready for the opener while still focusing on the task at hand.
What do you appreciate about, in the first 2 preseason games, you see a lot of vets, whether it's Harrison Smith or Kirk or whoever, really being keyed into the game even though they're not playing and, giving advice, being second coaches to the young players. How does that help to have the vets playing that role in preseason?
I think it's great. I see some future coaches out there. Just from the suggestions and the coaching points and just the conversation, the football chatter that goes on the sideline between, a veteran player and younger player. Those conversations are different than the ones I have. They're much more, peer-to-peer versus, when I get over there, it's, everyone's at attention sometimes, not all the time. But yeah, guys like Harry, like Jordan Hicks, like Harrison Phillips, like Josh Metellus, we try to encourage that. We certainly talk about that at the start of when we started playing preseason games. Hey, you veteran players, if you can lend a hand or give them a tidbit here or there, that'll help them. Feel free. We've got guys that have done that, taken to that, and I think it's been really nice.
What do you like most about Byron's play? Justin Jefferson was saying he's learned a lot from him during this camp. He had 2 more pickoffs again today. He just seems to just taking that next step.
Yeah, he's improving on a day-to-day basis. He's very diligent about his technique, his fundamentals, his understanding of his fit within the defense, where his help is, who he can help. I think he's done a really nice job. He continues to improve, and that's because of the work he puts in. It's not, there's nothing mystical about it. So he's done a really nice job, and I could say the same thing about a few other players. But he's shown leadership within that group, and just building that chemistry, coming in as a new player, with us as a new staff. He's been a bright spot for sure.
A specific aspect that you've liked the improvement more or less?
I really just enjoy his willingness to really gain more knowledge and understanding of everything we're doing, the whys behind it. There's some very great questions that he asks in a meeting setting in front of the entire group, and it allows me an opportunity to kind of dig a little deeper on the why behind we line up in this set, or we're cutting this player, or when I say that I mean taking one receiver and dropping off into another zone, why we're, doing whatever it is we're doing. So that part of it, just his football intelligence, his yearning to gain more knowledge, more understanding, and then, going out here and applying it on a day-to-day basis.
Is that too, with him playing both outside in the base and then going inside. Just as far as I would take it, that's pretty much like trying to learn two different positions, although they're both considered cornerback spots.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly two different positions. Just, a big thing for us is know who you are. So those guys who are playing multiple positions, if you're playing linebacker and you're thinking you're a safety, you're going to have an issue. So knowing what group we're in, knowing who you are, and then from that standpoint, understanding your role, where your help is, who you're helping, that whole conversation I just had, from a whole different point of view. There's a lot to take in there. So we're in meetings, I can see the wheels spinning. Okay, if I'm at this spot, it's this. Very same call, very same, alignment from the offense. I'm in another spot. It's a whole different set of, a whole different situation, a whole different set of rules. So there is some double learning. He's a guy who can take in and retain that information, and then apply it. I mean, that's really the big thing for all players, and he's certainly done a nice job there.
Brian Asamoah coming back. I'm just curious to get your thoughts on where he's at. Did he kind of jump right back in from where he left off?
Yeah, excited to get BA back. Got a couple reps yesterday, jumped in and got a few more today. Moving in the right direction there. But he just brings a level of juice and energy, speed, flying around, that we like, that we want out on the field. And, we just got to continue to keep progressing in the right direction and, just keep making strides from getting banged up a little bit early in training camp.
Seems like you got three guys, Hicks, Pace, Asamoah, that could kind of go in there in multiple spots, it seems. How do you feel about those three and just that group that you've got?
Again, those three have done, some good things. Jordan bringing a lot of leadership, just having the ability to much like we talked about with Murph and Harry, to take his experience and really, give that knowledge and information to the younger players in that room. Being Ivan and BA, as you mentioned, BA is a second-year player. He's still young. He's still learning. He still needs to get out there and experience, the various situations that could come up, third down, red zone, 2-minute. You play them all a little bit differently. We could have the same call on third down that we have in 2-minute, and they should be played totally different based on the situation. So, I think Jordan's brought a lot of that that understanding to that room, and he's also playing well. I think he's playing fast. I think he's playing physical, and the same for Ivan, the same for BA. Like all of us, they're making mistakes out there, but we're getting it corrected and, learning from those mistakes, and we're better out. We're trying to be better the next time out, and I think it's a good group, and it's those three, but it's also Dye's played well, Readers played well. I like the group as a whole. We got some young guys who gotten some opportunities, Huber, Beauplan. So we'll just keep, working with all these guys and trying to get them all better.
For the guys that will play a bunch this weekend, you've had months to evaluate them, and this is kind of the last game opportunity. What kinds of things do you look for from those guys trying to win a roster spot in kind of this last bit of game action before cuts?
At the end of the day, I think, in order to play your best, you got to play with some peace and freedom. That's, some words of wisdom I try to give them. Really any time out. If you're out there with, thinking about if you got stress, you got anxiety. None of us can be at our optimum level with those types of things on our mind. So, look, they've played this game since they were kids. You have to excel to a degree to get, into a building like this. So everyone here knows how to play. So that's kind of the information I try to give them. Whether they take it, that's up to each individual. But I try to be reasonable in there when I'm talking to them. I think it's reasonable to expect that if you are thinking about a bunch of other things that you can't control, you can't be at your best. So just play the game they love, play it fast. They work their techniques, their fundamentals, their communication. If they've prepared, then let the chips fall where they fall. And that's kind of what I try to tell them.
How does cut week coming up? How does that affect you personally? I mean, how do you deal with that?
I mean, look, this is my 20th season. My first couple years in the league, I was the Turk, as they call him. So I'd go around, Grim Reaper, Turk. Nobody wanted to see me. Look, it's a tough few days for everybody. In every building, every NFL building. You got a lot of guys who work their butt off, and you can do everything right sometimes, and it doesn't work out. It's no one likes those couple of days after that last preseason game. But it's part of being a part of this league. But look, I love every guy we've got in our room. I think they've done a great job. We can't keep them all. I wish we could. I try to let them know that. I think they understand that. It's a tough few days.
How close is this defense, in your mind, from the games and practices? How close is this being to where you want it, and how much work in your mind is left? Because I'm sure it's
always a work in progress.
Right, but
we're never there.
But are you somewhat satisfied? Are you not satisfied?
No.
Like, where do you stand as far as what you've seen?
I just, no one's where they want to be. I certainly don't feel like we are. We got a lot of work we got to do from fundamentals, technique, situations. Like we just mentioned, we don't really know who exactly we have. So some of the groups that we've had out there may be a little bit different than what we have a week from now. So I never feel like we're there. Maybe that's just my kind of competitive nature. But I think it's always a work in progress. We're always trying to improve. There's always something we can improve on. I like a lot of the things we're doing. To somewhat answer your question. But inevitably in this league, you can be doing something good, and there's something to beat everything. So you got to be able to adjust and change and be flexible. So I may like it now, but it may not work. A few weeks from now. So it's always evolving.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.